Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
OK, we are halfway through the season, so we thought now is the perfect time to discuss some of the most talked-about players with our start, bench, sell format. Not done this feature in a while.
No, we usually do it around the transfer window, but there's not been good enough transfers. So today we're doing very relevant kind of battles. Yeah. So we're doing start, bench, sell. Pick your whiteboards up. We've got a number of different categories in front of the lads. There is a theme to each debate. We're going to start with academy graduates. Now, 3 fantastic players this season. Big week for all of them as well. Mainoo, massive winner. Lewis Miley, new contract. And Connor Bradley. I mean, the emergence of an absolute superstar there. So start one, bench one, sell one. I think this is really, really hard. I'm not going to lie. I have a feeling I know...
Could it not be like bench behind the other one instead of sell? Like,
yeah,
sell's just going to make people angry.
It could fit it on the magnet. Too many words.
What you're saying is there's going to be a lot of angry Newcastle fans.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Should we see Paul's then while Chris is still...
Yeah, Chris is still thinking.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
OK. Oh, OK, so you've not gone with...
I'm so surprised at that.
Yeah. Not gone with your Liverpool man?
No, not because I don't think he's good enough. But I think Man United are that rubbish that they need an 18-year-old to start in their team desperately, whereas we can afford to nurture Connor Bradley, is what I've got.
What I'll say then is, highest ceiling of all 3 of them, who do you think?
I mean, Connor Bradley's currently got the 4th most assists of anyone in the Liverpool side this season. He's played about 300 minutes or something for us, so that's a pretty high ceiling already. Obviously, I know you guys absolutely adore Mainoo. I think I've probably seen slightly more of him than I've seen of Miley, so I don't want to burn my bridges with the entire city of Newcastle over that one.
You already have.
Yeah, apologies. But no, I'll say Connor Bradley. This guy, the fact that we can have conversations after, like 3 or 4 appearances, that he might, like, keep Trent Alexander-Arnold, the generationally talented Trent Alexander-Arnold at the side, I think speaks volumes to how good he is.
Chris, yours is ready?
Yeah, I think my word count's going to be a bit less than that. Mine is purely based on the fact that I was quite busy this week and didn't watch any of the United match, but I've heard he played quite well.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, Connor Bradley obviously is playing ridiculously well at the moment. He's had a lot of appearances, so to be fair, I could just be talking waffle. I don't actually know how much Mainoo's played.
Yeah,
you're dead right.
He's just playing every game.
Last 17 matches in all competitions, Miley started. 14 of those, played. 14 of those have been starts.
Yeah, Cobby started the last 8 and has had huge impacts.
Are we saying Miley's coming like a wrecking ball? Is that what we're saying?
How long have you been saying that? Paul has been saying that, writing that down. In the drive down, Paul. Hang on, how can I get Miley?
I apologise.
OK, so we'll move on from those.
Yeah, let's quickly move on.
Yeah, thank God.
The next one, January loans. Now, we were saying a bit critical of the fact there's not many big signings, but there have been, I would say, 3 quite high-profile loans.
Yeah.
So Sancho, Werner, Phillips. 3 pretty big loans, I would say. Which one would you start? Which one would you bench? And which one would you sell?
Yeah. Different ages, different positions. So I think this one is quite hard. But as far as loans go, obviously with PSR biting, a lot more loans being made so far this window.
OK, let's have a look at... Let's reveal your boards. Chris glanced at me as soon as he put... OK. So Paul's gone Sancho start, Werner bench, Phillips sell. It's completely different.
Very different.
Chris has gone start Phillips, bench Sancho, sell Werner.
Werner, like, whenever... He looks really promising whenever I see him play, but you also watch him play, you just think, like, nothing's going on in there. Like, when he gets to the final third, you're just like, the decision-making is questionable. So I think I'd have probably put in there. Calvin Phillips, I haven't really seen much of him play in the last, year, to be fair.
Who has?
It's very true, yeah.
Nobody has. There's just not had any game time. Do you think if Calvin Phillips does start and plays well for West Ham, he could be on the plane for Gareth with England at the Euros?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. He was so good in the Euros.
Yeah.
I remember,
2020,
Yeah, he was brilliant in that, and he can't have just lost that ability. So, yeah, I think he hasn't had game time. Sancho's a difficult one. There's clearly, issues and stuff, wasn't there, at United? But I still think there's potential in there. And obviously Smithy's a Spurs fan, so...
Yeah. He glanced, as soon as he put Werner there, he glanced at me. He got an assist in both his games, Werner, to be fair. You've gone with Sancho to start.
Yeah, because, look, I mean, talk about having your career sort of go a little bit off the tracks, but, in terms of his ceiling, we were talking about earlier, just phenomenal footballer, absolutely phenomenal. Not being great at Manchester United in the last 10 years is not necessarily a barometer of whether you're good or not. Plenty of players have passed through and gone on to do other things No. You know, if Romelu Lukaku's watching, I'm sure he understands.
Angel Di Maria?
Yeah. There's tons. There's absolutely tons. Here we go. Could this be the show?
Yeah. Let's just not start listing players that are coming to United.
He's got so many more. He's in his pocket.
Be fine. Yeah, better to do that than any more rubbish gags. So Timo Werner, I like Timo Werner.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. I know Chelsea fans have got a lower opinion of him, but he's got the pace. I think he's a really shrewd move for Tottenham. And Calvin Phillips, obviously, he's here as West Ham. I just think he just needs to go and get a parent move and crack on with his, go and get his career back on track, go and get his life back in order. And yeah, he should be in contention for England. He should be, because when he was playing for England, he was brilliant.
Yeah. I think I was just going to say,
England Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think my Timo Werner is slightly biased by the fact I triple captained him in FPL when he was playing for Chelsea and got me 0 points for the next year of about 3, I think, a game against Newcastle. So just saying there is emotion there.
Yeah, there is emotion. And you're an Arsenal fan, needs to Tottenham play.
Yeah.
All right, let's take them off.
Disagreement on that one.
Let's go for the next one. On to goalkeepers. 3 excellent goalkeepers this season.
Yeah, this is tough.
Vicario, just such a good signing. One of the bargains of the window, one of the signings of the window. His XG prevented, save percentage just incredible. Alisson, people making debates for being the best goalkeeper in Premier League's history. And then Ederson, who recently won a treble, best ball-playing goalkeeper in the world.
Let's have a look at who you got.
I think this is quite an easy one.
Wow! Is it based on this season?
Yeah.
I'm
Vicario as sell.
I know,
Smithy, I know you're a
Tottenham
Tottenham
Hotspur fans are absolutely obsessed with Vicario, and I understand because, you had Hugo Lloris for ages. I enjoy.
He's had one of the highest XG prevented, clean sheets, player of the matches, but
Smith, Smithy will come riding out.
I think we can all agree Alisson is one of the best keepers in the world. Yeah. But if we're doing it on this season, does that not factor in?
I think Alisson's been that level this season.
Yeah, I think Alisson's also been right. Vicario's obviously been ridiculous. I think he's up against. He's in the wrong crowd.
Yeah. Okay. And Ederson.
Yeah, look, he's the second best goalie. So.
Okay,
Alisson takes that spot.
I agree. Didn't need too much debate. I see you're annoyed about that one.
To be fair, best save ratio of any goalkeeper in the Premier League this season is Alisson, top keeper. I just thought I was surprised there's an exact agreement.
Yeah, I know you're annoyed about that.
I just love that. I really like Vicario.
Would you like me to move?
No, because I keep saying it is your selection. So whatever you feel is fine. There we go.
Did you have a whiteboard that was taken away on one episode?
Not allowed to place any magnets. Next one, midfielders. We've got some huge names.
Oh, this is a horrible.
This is based on this season. This is very difficult. Jude Bellingham, Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes.
Tough based on this season with this, isn't it? Because obviously KDB has had.
It is difficult.
Substantial injury problems.
This is based on this season.
Yeah.
Based on this season, he has had substantial injury problems, but when he has come back, it has just been ridiculous, hasn't it?
You have to factor in the fact that he came back against Newcastle. Most chances created in the Premier League this season for Bruno, 1 goal, 4 assists and 6 appearances for Kevin De Bruyne. And as for Jude, joint top scorer in La Liga, which is incredible. So let's have a look at how you've... Chris is still...
I'm stressing here. Go for him first.
Right, go on, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the Real Madrid badge. That's just a crown on Bellingham's head. Yeah, he's ridiculous, isn't he? Absolutely. De Bruyne bench because, let's be honest, that would give Liverpool a slightly better chance of winning the league if he wouldn't be on the pitch.
And he has been a lot this season with his injury problems.
Absolutely. And Bruno Fernandes because, I mean, look, of the 3, I think he's a good player. I think he's a terrible Man United captain, but I think he's a good player. But he's not as good as those 2.
Mentioned Man United a few times.
Yeah, he's got a few jabs in there. Let's have a look at yours.
Look, I'm hurting, lads. I'm hurting.
Lashing out. He's lashing out.
He's in the anger phase of acceptance. I feel like I've disrespected KDB here big time, but I think on Jude Bellingham, just his ceiling is so high, and I don't think there's a team in the world that he doesn't get into at the moment. But Kevin De Bruyne is probably best midfielder the Premier League's ever seen, so it's tough.
Fully fit, who do you take in your side, Bellingham or De Bruyne?
Fully fit, I think I'm taking De Bruyne purely because you know the level that he's just going to be, only on longevity, though, because Bellingham looks like England could have a Ballon d'Or winner for a few years ahead.
Do you think he will win the Ballon d'Or this season? He's got a chance
I mean, I don't know this season, but, like, he'll definitely win it at some point, right?
I agree.
Yeah, OK, let's have a look at the next one.
I'd hate to be his brother.
Yeah, that one's really tough. The next one, we're going to strikers again. We're looking at England's second choice here. So obviously, Harry Kane up front, basically impossible to dislodge. But we have got 3, exceptional strikers in this sort of start-bench cell. Obviously, Watkins, Toney, Solanke's having an absolutely ridiculous season, by the way. And we know Toney has, of course, been banned, but he's come back 2 in 2.
Yeah. Watkins top scorer as well.
Let's reveal.
15 goals.
Let's have a look at what we've gone for.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is another tough one.
Really tough.
Wow.
Both starting Watkins, though. Why have you both started Watkins?
Slightly.
It's just because he's so established. You know what I mean? He's just goals, isn't he? He really is. He fits that Aston Villa side like an absolute glove, really. And I think because he's so settled there as well. Whereas the Toney thing is because I could just see him moving on. Ultimately, I think he's got a move in him in the next.
Where do you think he goes?
I think there'd be a ton of clubs lining up for him. I mean, I'm sure Arsenal would happily take him if they could get him.
Would you take him, Chris?
Hard to place your bets where he'd go, but yeah, I think I would probably go Arsenal. I'd love to have him at Arsenal. He'd be amazing. I'd have him in bench just because I would love to have him on the bench to bring on if we got a penalty. Because he's probably
incredible penalty taker.
Not the best penalty taker in the world. Like he's when we didn't take him to the World Cup, I was like, I think we've missed a trick there, because I genuinely just think it's a great tool to have.
How many do you reckon will go, just out of interest?
Of these three to
the Euros?
Ooh.
Surely max 2.
Yeah,
it's got.
I'd say
You both
it depends how
nailed on to go.
I think he should. I think he should be. Yeah. I think Dominic Solanke's brilliant, by the way. Obviously, never quite worked out for him at Liverpool.
Yeah,
kind of come back up, gone through the Championship, got his goals there, and this has been his really big season so far at really at the top level. So
13 Premier League goals.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah,
but he's different. He's different to both of those guys as well, because he can go in behind, he can play on the shoulder, but he also knits play together really well. So I like Dom. I think he's good.
Yeah, there was talk, wasn't there, about Solanke potentially leaving, at moments in this window, like it never really came to fruition. Do you see him potentially going to because he's had his chance at Liverpool, didn't really work. He was at Chelsea, didn't really work. Third time lucky.
We started. He was a youth player at Chelsea. We got him from there. Yeah, look, why not? There's a real need for goal scoring centre forwards in the Premier League. There's a bunch of clubs right up the top there. Obviously Tottenham are getting by without a direct Harry Kane replacement, but how long does that carry on for? You don't know. There's going to come a point where, I say Arsenal will probably need to go and get a proper number 9. So why not someone like?
Would you take him?
Dom Solanke.
Yeah, at Spurs. He was linked, doesn't he?
Yeah, I would.
In the January window.
I think all 3 of them top players. So I would. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Next up, last category. We're looking at sort of young attacking players here.
Yeah.
And again, same rules. Start 1, bench 1, sell 1. We've got Elise, Palmer, and Gordon.
3 players that have had really good seasons.
And there's no bias to this here as well, because no Liverpool, Arsenal, obviously 2 neutrals. So I'm intrigued to know actually where you're going.
Cole Palmer has obviously been unbelievable since joining as well.
Yeah, 11 goals this season for Cole Palmer. Newcastle's joint second top scorer is Anthony Gordon. And Elise, as we know, top player as well. So let's see how you've gone.
Wow.
OK, bit of disagreement.
Ooh, yeah, I've gone. I mean, I do feel like I've been harsh to Anthony Gordon, but I just think Elise he's such a nice player to watch play football.
Yeah.
You get excited every time he gets the ball. Anthony Gordon, obviously his goals and stuff have been insane. And also I put Newcastle player further up, so I'm happy to, I haven't annoyed them too much. So I'm quite like when I watch him play. It's just not very attractive football. Every time he scores, it seems to be a deflection or something like that. So
he's a workhorse, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think which is also a bit of a benefit, though, isn't it? They work so hard, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Also, tellingly, and perhaps most importantly, Evertonian. So
that's why.
That's
when you said no bias,
this has been awful so far. There's been no football opinions. It's just been personal bias. But Cole Palmer, I think, has to be first. He's been ridiculous this season.
Great season. Elise for you as well. 6 goals and 8 Premier League starts this season for Elise.
I just think he's brilliant. And with the greatest respect to Crystal Palace, he's one who's got a big move in him. If he can stay fit.
Yeah, that has been a problem.
He's amazing. He's absolutely brilliant. There's very few positions I think in those sort of attacking areas you can't play in as well. I think he's a real star. And look, ultimately, no disrespect ultimately to Cole Palmer. Just I'm a big fan of Elisa.
Okay. Do you think as well with Cole Palmer, like in that pressurised Chelsea environment, it is. I don't want to say more difficult than like Newcastle and Crystal Palace to like shine at the moment.
There's a lot on him.
But there's just so much spotlight on the problems that are at that club that he's had such an exceptional season, despite all of that. That like he could go to the Euros, I think, Cole Palmer. Definitely.
Good shout. Yeah. Okay. I enjoyed that.